Peace, everyone, and welcome to Karmic Dynasty. I am Joy Allen, and as the banner reads, I am still accepting books. I'm going to be accepting books for the DC area for some time for my upcoming tour, so contact me for further information. Once again, peaceful, respective greetings to everyone. Halito, Hotep, Udama Akeyor, Ashukwu Noir, Islam, Assalamu alaikum. Hola. I appreciate you all being here. This evening, I am presenting part 4 of the Oh Jesus series, is what I call it. And I have read and I'm sharing parts of this book called The Devils Pulpit. So in part 1, I covered the author and how he came to write the book in brief. And now I am sharing in this series portions of the book. The Devil's Pulpit is a free PDF online, so you can do what you do as thou wilt. And that's it for that. And I'm going to, lately, my broadcasts have been short. The series have been in brief. Heads up, this one this evening is not going to be brief. I'm going to be here at least an hour. And also, speaking of children and being on this is the Karmic Dynasty unscripted platform, this evening I must share. Y'all know it's coming. Y'all know it's coming. I must share this evening that this is the no children zone today. Gratitude. This is the no children zone. I'm not sure what I'm going to say. This is an unscripted platform, so anything is possible. And I deal with the possibilities to the best of my ability. And I say positively well. Now, with that being said, I am not on Facebook. I'm doing my best to stay away from Facebook. I have had requests. I've honored 2 today. Actually, the only Facebook request I've had, they both came today. So I've honored both of them because the people are near and dear to me. And it'd be so great if they were always in my life. So these 2 people, I've honored their request today. And one request is that until adjustments are made for them, that I am live on Facebook. So today, yes, I am live on Facebook. Although earlier today, I advertised only on Instagram and Twitter. Only on YouTube and Twitter is where I was going to be. I love you all. Not sure how else to say that, Mia Moore. I love you all. So yeah, I'm going to vary. I'm going to wave sometimes. I'm going to be flexible. I like to know I'm flexible. So I'm also taking this time to, because of the timing of the Facebook live request, to give that audience time to come into the live broadcast right now. I had it scheduled for 6:15 because the studio on that notice wouldn't give me another choice but to push it out to 6:15. So giving those people time to come in and advertising and setting up all expectations for tonight's broadcast. And I appreciate everyone who has made the shift from Facebook to YouTube. I appreciate you all and all of your efforts and any sacrifices. Now, I'm going to tell y'all what. It's been a little while since I've been up here myself, just me. I've been here, but I might have been grayed out, or I wasn't right here, or wasn't quite here. I'm here this evening. This baby worshipers child sacrifice thing, ever since I posted it, it's been a big deal for me. Y'all know I'm all about the children. I do my best for the children. I swear I do my best for the children. Even when it don't look like it's best for me or the child, but I do my best. I have had inquiries, which has helped launch, promote and pump me up for this event, this right here. And I have 2 requests for studio guests this evening. If anyone else would like to come in the studio, let me know. Right now, I know for sure that one person will be here, and that's because he's now in the studio. The other one, based on the timing, they are not able to be here. Now, something might happen. They'll be here, or somebody else might be here. I'm open to all of that. Just let me know. Just let me know. And so I am addressing the audience, and then I'm gonna bring on the guest. And no, we gonna bring them in the we gonna address the audience together. So right now, let me pull back. Let me pull back, bring my guest in. I got to make arrangements for this special guest right here. We doing it. All right, y'all, let me get this thing together because he's here. All right, no children zone. Let me pull you back. Let me pull you down. We chilling with Joy Allen today. If you hear, Joy Allen's chilling. And on that note, I'm already kind of warm, so this jacket might come off. It's just quite possible. Anything's possible. But right now on this screen, that's the only thing I'm taking off. So let's say this the kids' free zone, but my jacket's the only thing that's coming off of here. Gratitude. Peace, y'all. Stand by. Oh, can I do this on the? We got to see. Let me see. Y'all know what? At the same time, I'll be learning some stuff. You know what I mean? Learning. Let me roll with this. How am I going to do it? Stand by.
We are self-taught beings. We never were taught by books.
Peace, Rob. Appreciate you being here. He is over there doing his thing, y'all. Peace, Rob. You here with us?
Yeah, Rahul
back. So I played your intro. Share with all of us who you are, your greeting, and however else you like to open and address the audience. Gratitude. And again, welcome again to Karmic Dynasty. I always appreciate you being here.
Appreciate that. This is a surprise appearance. Not gonna be on too long. Gotta get off the planet. AK, go to bed. I say to you, Rahul Bat Wu Hetep, greetings and peace. Shukwu Nawad, divine love, divine light. And we send that out to Pawit, which is the all, or the omniverse, to all greater beings of the greater galactics. Anuk Reye, I am Ra. You can find me on Instagram as Star Pharaoh Ra Noon. Okay. So today's I had to get on right quick because I'm very interested in not only partaking but listening into this. This is a very interesting topic. And it ties into a lot of the movies that we've been watching and these movie reviews. So I'm very interested. I want to hear what I kind of want to build upon what Joy. First of all, I'm learning. I'm a master student. You know what I'm saying? So I want to. I'm here really not as a speaker, but more of a student to just listen to the wisdom of the great goddess Joy Allen, the great mother goddess. Joy L. She got L in her name. L means God, and joy. So that's a good vibration too. Joy, that's a emotion. But long story short.
Gratitude, Rod. Gratitude. All right. So this evening we have with us Sheree L. # Unoccupied Turtle Island. She speaks Grand Evening Royals matriarch. And grand royal evening to you, matriarch. She's from YouTube speaking to us. And also she says, what up though? What up though? Ashanette Hines, I appreciate you being here. Peace to you as well. And greetings to you all. And Charbay, peace and love, sis. I see you made the live. I'm excited. I'm excited about this right here. Peace to the queen. Peace, queen, Ashanette. Ashanette. They're sharing greetings. I love it around here. We just so peaceful. It's beautiful. Peace and love to all from Ramutef Queb. He's here from Facebook. And Ramutef, it'd be great if you were here. I know you got things, errands, and multitasking. I appreciate you listening in, though. Your presence is felt. Your presence is felt. Brother Z, a new Ubuntu Malachi. He is here from Facebook. He's in his house. I hear you, brother. I see you. I see you. I see you. And Ramutef sending greetings to Ra, Star Pharaoh. And JF Clay from Facebook. Oh, I appreciate your presence. Oh, wow. Y'all is surprising me tonight. I'm almost missing Facebook. Oh, I love you as well, King. I love you as well. Again, he's speaking from Facebook. Peace to you. Wow. Book got me blocked again for posts from two. You know what I mean? That's why I don't mess with. I can't do Facebook. But again, I'm here by a special request. And I do my best to honor how y'all feeling, where y'all at in life. And look at this here. We got Elmore, the Universal Humanitarian. He's here from Facebook as well. All right, now I need all y'all Facebook users to know I'm on this Facebook strike right now. They, you know what I mean? They let all kind of crap fly on Facebook. As soon as I say I will cut you, they want to flag me for 24 hours. Ain't nobody about to tell me how to talk, how to speak, when to do it. No manners, none of that. So yeah, I'm done with Facebook for right now. I'm only over there posting in my story, my videos, so those who don't know can catch up with me and know where to find me. I've been, people like, I ain't seen you on Facebook. No, I've not been there, but I'm active. I'm over here on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Check me out. I can't do Facebook. Can't do Facebook. We got to prepare for other times. We got to prepare for other times.
Hey, Joy.
Facebook is going to be around. Yes.
Listen. At least they give you 24 hours. They give me 30-day bans. That's why y'all get the nice on Facebook. Y'all get the nice version of me, because if I say anything, I'll get a 30-day ban.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not doing the nice version of me. Actually, the nice version will get me banned for 30 days. Period. Get me banned on the know what the nice is. So right now I'm going to start this PowerPoint, and since Rod is here for a short amount of time and give him an opportunity to chime in before he leaves us, I do have right now 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 9, 10 websites. So I got 9 web searches that I pulled up. I do plan to be like whatever the day brings, freestyling around here, as some of y'all call it. So like I said, I'm going to be here at least an hour this evening. Y'all rolling with me or not, play it back, rewind it. If you're watching the replay, I appreciate you and I love you as well. We rolling with this PowerPoint right now. Gratitude to you all for your patience and your endurance. Now, again, I will be reading this in brief, in parts. You want to know the whole thing, you're going to go and download the book, The Devils Pulpit by Reverend Robert Taylor, the PDF on your own. Stand by for me. Stand by. Gratitude. All right, so just a brief right there for you. Now, I'm going to move this no children's zone banner, excuse me, and I need y'all to just know is what it is for right now so we can see the screen. Now, we speaking on Jesus. The very first part 1 was about Jesus being born in a manger. So we looking at baby Jesus being a horse and all some other stuff. Check out part 1. So with that in mind, just a heads up, baby Jesus, baby worshipers, guess what we talking about? And we got another baby we gonna be discussing too. I can't remember right now if it's like Jesus's brother that ain't recognized or a cousin or something, but we gonna speak on another baby too. And that's near the end. So stay tuned for that one. For real. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Let's get to this PowerPoint. All right. So it reads, we have found historically that these very words, that is the meaning of them in the whole identity of everything they refer to or by any possibility could refer to, are a direct plagiarism from the Sanskrit text of the Bhagavad Purana, that is in English, the Book of God of the Hindus, ascribed and universally admitted to have been written by divine inspiration of the Brahminical priest Vyasa, who lived and flourished in India at the lowest calculation, 1,500 years before our unluckily imagined epoch of the birth of Christ. We have found astronomically that in the most minute, even the most wonderfully minute applications, as accurately as the wax fills up every mark and line engraven in the seal, the whole story betrays the character of an astronomical enigma or parable and is a picture in words of the annual phenomena of the solar system. We have found philologically that upon tracing back the words themselves to their radicals or first types, they're literally itself. Okay, that's what it says. Their literality. How, what does that say? Literality. Their literality, goodness, itself is astronomical, whereby we have the same sort of perfectly mathematical demonstration as when we work out an algebraic problem geometrically and then work back the geometrical result algebraically. Thus, history, philology, what is this word? Philology and science combine in one great trinity of demonstration to prove the falsehood of the gospel. The radicals of our test read philologically, that is, according to their first types, throw up the perfect and complete astronomy. Now, when the sun entered into the zodiacal sign of the month of August in the ephemeris of Hercules, the regulator, then follows in our English version. Behold, there came wise men from the east. But here again is an egregious and most deceitfully intended false translation in our English testaments in order to produce a respect for these imaginary baby worshippers, to which they were by no means entitled. They were not called wise men, but magi, that is, magicians or conjurers, notwithstanding the strong reason which some may think they have to suspect that they were no conjurers. The fathers of the church generally speak of these wise men of the East as being three kings in order to make out the accomplishment of that prophecy. The king of Tharsis and of the isles shall give presents. The kings of Arabia and Saba shall bring gifts. This is the 72nd Psalm. But bring, I pray, as you would in all other sciences, bring down the rich stores of the knowledge already acquired to aid ye in the further demonstrations to which now we tend. The identity of Jesus Christ with the Son, the accordance of all the circumstances of this mythological history, from its imaginary conception by the Virgin Mary to his death, resurrection, ascension, and final coming again, as he does every year to judge both the quick and the dead, that is, to divide an equable proportion of his light and heat to both hemispheres, that is, to us and to our antipodes, it being night with them when it is day with us, and vice versa. All this having been so clearly proved, the presence of these wise men of the East, the first worshipers of the infant, yes, Now, in part, I think 2 and 3, we discussed the Y is the J and the US on the end of Jesus, the us, and the only thing left is the JES. So right now, the author just is straight giving y'all the YES. So if you're reading this and you've not read the book or you've not heard part 1 through 3, then you like, what's the infant? Yes, we speaking to Jesus. Jess is who he's calling. These magi, I'm gonna run this back. All these having been so clearly proved, the presence of these wise men of the East, the first worshipers of the infant, yes, these magi with their gifts, gold, frankincense, and myrrh, which were from eternal ages, the first tributary offerings consecrated to the Son, is, as it were, the clincher to the nail driven in a sure place, a demonstration never to be withdrawn, that the whole story of the gospel from first to last was derived from these magi and never was, nor is, any other than the ancient, occult, or hidden. At the bottom down here is a poem. I'm not going to read it right now. I'm going to come in here in the studio and see who my guest is popping up in here. Peace, Ramutef Queb. How are you? Welcome to Karmic Dynasty.
Peace, Panatap, everyone. Thank you for bringing me on the platform. Peace to the Nature Raw as well. Thanks for everyone showing up. Right now, I'm kind of like a little busy, but I figure I pop in every once in a while so I can add some feedback as well.
Gratitude. Gratitude. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your presence for real, for real. Ra, you have something, some comment, feedback you want to share at this time?
Nope, not yet.
All right. All right. We have more family here, more of the Ramech from Facebook. I appreciate you being here. All of you. I do. I need y'all to know this is only by special request that I'm here. I'm usually lately only on Twitter and YouTube with my live streams where I have been active. And for all of you, if you're not sure, my videos are pre-scheduled. So all you have to do is go to my YouTube homepage and it shows my upcoming schedule, dates, times, all of that. So I appreciate you all being here. Gratitude once more. Now,
Can
baby
I say
worshiper.
something? No.
Sure, go ahead.
All right. So just to follow up from what I was hearing before I jumped in. So in retrospect, right? So most people know that. Well, I don't even say most people, but majority of those who know of this coming of when they came, they protracted towards the Christmas date, right? And then astronomically, they just told you that the three wise men seen what they seen on the time of when the sun entered into Leo, but during that endings of the days, in a sense. So if we go Gregorian wise, again, it'll be August 10th to September 15th. Now, I don't know if he's going to speak on that particular time frame, but I'm pretty sure people are about to find out that this actual birth of this individual is in September and not December.
Interesting, interesting. Now I know the book does cover the birthday, Jesus's birth. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I did not greet my other audience. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. All right. The author does speak on Jesus's birthday not being in December. I'm not sure if I've not covered it in parts 1 through 3. I don't think it's going to be covered today. But if anybody wants to read up on that, the PDF is free online. The Devils Pulpit, definitely. And thanks for that insight. Gratitude, Ramutef, for that ad. Yes, it's definitely a part of the author's storyline. Let's see. So, baby worshiping. Yeah, the Magi made this story up. This is the Magi story. So the entire Bible, the Jesus narrative, the three wise men are speaking to you the entire time, is what this author is saying. So as who is that? Some I don't see her here this evening. And my moderator, she was speaking about the Magi the other evening. Where was we? Oh, we was on the Matrix movie review. And she was talking about the Magi being a priest. And that's when I brought up this broadcast, and Raw was like, for real. And then his mind went straight from the Matrix and was all about, I need to know more about this baby worship stuff. So this is where this came from. So how we got here, I don't even know what I'm saying right now, but y'all rolling with me. Like Ashton said, y'all rolling with me. I'm rolling. So yeah, she brought that up. The Magi are these priests, and we know anytime there's priests around, there's a ceremony. So we looking at baby worshiping. They bringing gifts. What is the whole point of worshiping a baby? Now we know in accordance. Let's roll with the title alone I got today: Baby Worshipers and Child Sacrifice. We know that according to the story, there was a baby Jesus. We know the baby Jesus grew up and became a grown-ass man. We know that according to the story, he was sacrificed. Sacrificed for what? Oh, for our sins. Jesus paid the ultimate price. He was sacrificed for our sins. Now, again, in this world where I know in some of our times with our ancestors, the time where there were just oral teachers, and school lasted like well into your 30s. Jesus, and in this story, is still a child when he sacrificed on the cross for everybody's sins. Now, today I'm going to look further along with the author. I'm looking into present time child sacrifice and baby worship and events. And right now, there's just a heads up for where I'm going. And I'm going to continue on with this PowerPoint. So I'm removing my banner so we can see the screen. Any input from the panel before I continue? Okay, that's enough. Gratitude. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and read this little short poem. And so beautifully versified in the eclogue of the Messiah, see barbarous nations at thy gates attend, walk in thy light and in thy temple bend. See thy bright altars throng with prostrate kings and heaped witten products of Sabian springs. For thee Idum's spicy forests blow, and seeds of gold in Ophir's mountains glow. Now, I'm running back to this sentence where it's cut off and it goes to the next page so we can get back caught up. All this having been so clearly proved, the presence of these wise men of the East, the first worshipers of the infant, yes, these magi, with their gifts, gold, frankincense, and myrrh, which were from eternal ages, the first tributary offerings consecrated to the sun, is, as it were, the clincher to the nail, driven in a sure place, a demonstration never to be withdrawn. That is, the whole story of the gospel from first to last was derived from these magi, and never was nor is any other than that ancient occult or hidden science, which the Apostle Paul calls the theosophy or wisdom of God in a mystery, but which in plain English is the black art or magic. We speak wisdom, says he, to them that are perfect, i.e., to the initiated, to them that are up to the trick on it, yet not the wisdom of this world, not a science or anything historical or that ever really happened, but the theosophy or astronomy in disguise, even the hidden wisdom. That is the magic, the black art, in honor of which its priests and preachers to this day wear black gowns and black dresses and very livery itself of their divine master, the Black Prince, as you may see by dissecting the word gospel into its radicals, that is God's spell, the spell, charm, or magical incantation by the repetition of certain words, of which with your eyes shut and putting your body in the shape of the constellation Orion, one knee up, the other thrust from you, and the hands clasped together thus, It was believed that the power of omnipotence would be bound to attend the conjuration. The founders of this dark science or black art are universally admitted to have been these magi, and our Christian antiquaries are proud to quote the celebrated passage from the Zend Avesta of the Persian Zoroaster, which is found so strikingly coincident with this pretended visit of these Eastern magi to the stable of Bethlehem. You, my children, said the great magician, shall be first honored by the manifestation of that divine person who is to appear in the world. A star shall go before you to conduct you to the place of his nativity, and when you have found him, present to him your oblations and sacrifices, for he is indeed your Lord and an everlasting King. The apostolic father Ignatius, bishop of Antioch, in the fourth of his epistle to the Ephesians, after admitting that the virginity of Mary and he who was born of her, as also the story of his death, were the subjects of this black art. Mary's virginity, he who was born of her, which is Jesus, and the story of his death were the subjects of this black art or hidden science, and done in secret by God. Asks and answers himself, how then was our Savior manifested to the world? A star shone in heaven beyond all the other stars, and its light was inexpressible, and its novelty struck terror in men's minds. All the rest of the stars, together with the sun and moon, were the chorus to this star. But this sent out its light exceedingly above them all. While in the gospel quoted by St. Paul under the title of the God, while in the gospel quoted by St. Paul under the title of the gospel of the circumcision, we are instructed not merely that the star came and stood over the stable where the young child was, which was certainly very polite of him, but that he actually walked into the stable. And behold, it was all filled with lights, greater than the lights of lamps and candles, and greater than the light of the sun itself. So the Holy Church throughout all the world has never ceased to celebrate this affair of the star as an event as real and as historical, and indeed it is just as much so as any other portion in this whole bag of moonshine. The 6th of January, commonly called 12th day, being 12 days from Christmas, famous for eating cakes and as famous for its proof of what cakes have been made of Christians, is entitled in our Christian calendars, the Epiphany of our Lord. It is a most holy festival of our most holy church, set apart in express commemoration of this appearance of the star to the magicians, as is acknowledged in the collect or incantation for the Epiphany or manifestations of Christ to the Gentiles. O God, who, by the leading of a star, didst manifest thy only begotten Son to the Gentiles, mercifully grant that we, which know thee now by faith, may after this life have the fruition of thy glorious Godhead through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. This festival of the Epiphany, and I'm not going to read that right now. We're going to look at this. So right now, we're talking about eating babies, people eating babies. This day festivals, they're eating babies, and we about to look at some other things on this internet in regards to that. Any feedback from the panel?
No, I'm having fun listening.
I'm glad you are. All right, now let's look at this. I did I did a search in preparation of this video, and I typed in "eat babies." Now, auto-populated came up satire. So I said, for real, satire on eating babies? All right, y'all want to be funny? Let's look at what being funny. Let's right quick look at death of innocence. You know what I mean? And El Moore, you bringing it. You're coming in early with it. I appreciate you. Give them a heads up. That's what we do. The universal humanitarian, he giving y'all another heads up on what's coming next in the next few minutes up here on this screen. Adrenochrome, he says, which is considered the fountain of youth and can only be extracted from young children during torture. Every time Christians do communion, they are symbolically performing cannibalism. And some of them don't even symbolically do it. They literally are eating children. So let's look at this. I was really like, y'all, on the internet today, you can really type in babies, eat babies, and satire. The word satire pops up. And then you got pictures like this. I'm like, serious? This is okay for the internet to just be, look, the child got the nutrition facts on his forehead. This is not cute. This is not cute. I mean, I know that the etymon of cute, cuddly, and delicious. In today's fast-paced society, it's hard to eat healthy. Oh, wait, so the eating a baby is healthy? I guess it is, depending
I
on
gotta
who
say
you
something.
are.
I gotta say
Go
something.
ahead for me.
So remember now, these people are Draco reptilians. We're trying to understand this from a humanoid, from a Nubian human perspective. That's why it's so weird. But we got to understand that the Dracos, who are humanoid reptilians from another planet, they eat human beings, humanoids, and they prefer. Reason why they eat babies is because, listen, a baby has not been consuming toxic diet for 10, 20, 30 years, like a lot of us have. So a baby is just like when you're eating chicken. Do you want to listen? When you're eating chicken, you want a chicken that's been eating shit for the past 20 years? No, you want a new healthy. You prefer a new healthy chicken. You got to understand that these so-called Dracos, that's how they look at humanoids now. And this is why it's important to be high vibrational. Long story short, because they prefer a low vibrational humanoid, um, and without veering off course, that is the purpose of a lot of these other races on the planet. Earth is a farm. Okay, so when you're when people are looking at this thing, you gotta understand that this planet is being ran as a farm by higher beings who look at humans as chicken.
I hear you.
Mm, mm, mm,
I
mm.
hear you. And then speaking on movie reviews, which you introduced earlier into the broadcast today, so we spoke of that and harvesting when on the Doom movie review and
Mhm.
Jupiter Ascending.
And oh
Correct.
God, watch Doctor Sleep. Have you seen that,
Doctor
Joy?
Sleep.
Have you seen that?
I don't think so.
Joy, listen to me very carefully. Listen to me very, very carefully. Please watch that movie. Honestly, if you, I don't know your sleep schedule, but if not tonight, tomorrow. That's number one. That was a very good
I
movie,
will
and
watch it tonight.
listen, it's all about a dream. Oh God, it's all about adrenochrome. It's about real quick. It's about these. Um, it's about these. It's a group of people, and they've been alive for about 700, 1,000 years. Why? Because they've been feeding on children. Okay, I'd say that about that. That's all I'm gonna say about that. And it was a good movie. All right, and it's good. It was a really good movie. It's called. Matter of fact, I know you've seen the movie The Shining, right? With
Yeah.
Jack
Jack. Okay, bet.
Nicholson and Shelley Duvall. Yeah, I've seen The Shining. I've
Okay,
even
so
seen the modern, updated version of The Shining too.
okay, bet. So Doctor Sleep is the sequel to that.
Oh, I did see that. Then you hold. Let me pull myself up here on Doctor Sleep. The little girl was melanated,
With the
and
power,
the
with
guy
superpower.
she
Yeah.
was running towards was Tamahu.
Right.
and they
Tell me
was
who.
coming in her room, or she could see them in her room,
Right.
and they attacked her. And actually it was this lady being, and she was in charge of like this group. She was the leader, and they had it was this little boy got killed, and he was a baseball player. They had buried him out in the sticks some about far, and the little melanated girl knew where he was at and led the white man to him.
Right, because they were sucking. They
Yeah,
were
I
sucking
did
the.
see Dr. Sleep. I have seen that. Go ahead,
Yeah,
go ahead. Okay.
they were sucking. They were sucking the child energy, aka adrenochrome.
Yes,
But
yes,
you're right.
yes.
By first inducing where they gotta, they gotta induce fear. Yo, this also ties into what's going on. God damn. When Trump was in office, remember? Well, not
We're
remember.
looking at Trump today too, because Trump was
Right.
dropping some knowledge. I got that. I got his stuff over here.
Yeah, they freed. Yeah, and during the Trump presidency, they freed thousands of children that were underground, being tortured and all that, being killed. Yo, these Dracos, these are some. They seem they seem evil, but you gotta understand, we're evil to chickens. That's how you gotta look at it too. To the audience, chickens think humans are evil. So when we're talking about when we're talking about babies being eaten, yes, it sounds evil, but we eat chickens. If you still eating meat, you know what I'm saying? So during the presidency, a lot of children were freed underground, and that's why they were saying, a lot during the lockdown for COVID. They were saying that that's the reason why they wanted us in the house, because they were conducting military operations to free these children who are being, tortured and killed and all that, and eaten.
Hmm. And then you remember though, I was my conversation earlier. This is off screen, and I was talking to Joy about what happened to all those children that they locked up down in Texas.
Ah, ah. Oh God, you just sparked another thought. Real quick. Good, good. Netta Ramotef. Yeah, them immigrant children that were coming from Mexico. Shit,
Hmm.
they became that was lunch. That was breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Them children, them immigrants, they disappeared too in those detention holding facilities, man. And listen, this is why a lot of you, if you have children, I know that work schedule and all that is hard, is tough, but y'all got to start thinking about taking y'all kids out of these damn schools, because these are Draco Adamite Tomahawk schools. You don't know what they're gonna be doing with their children when they get desperate and when their food supply runs short. Long story short, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, and Karmic Dynasty continues to promote homeschooling.
There you go. That's what I'm
Karmic
talking about.
Karmic Dynasty has spoken actually on this topic. There are people in relation to COVID who just refuse to take their children out of school for convenience of their work schedules and stuff. That's an excuse.
Hmm.
Your work schedule has nothing to do with your child's learning. Your work schedule has nothing to do with your child being homeschooled. You make your own schedule. Some children are self-taught. I've covered this in broadcast. I'm going to cover it again today in brief. As I said, I'm going to be here at least an hour today. This is about the children. I'm going to be here. Period. Right now. Now, Google, I did a whole homeschool event in Ohio, in Columbus. Google homeschool types of homeschool, and it will tell you in the Wikipedia article I read and shared on my broadcast, there are different types of homeschool learnings and teaching styles. You don't have to be your child's teacher. Somebody else can teach a child. Actually, your child can teach themselves. Homeschool is not what on average we think homeschool is. I need y'all to take some time for your children. I need you to take some time, because at the end of the day, you leaving your child in the system. They already worshiping your babies. They waiting on you to use the system's instruction manual. You know how they say babies don't come with instructions? We don't come with instruction manuals. Yes, we do. The system then gave them out. and y'all are going by the guidelines and instruction in that instruction manual, and you setting your child up for the sacrifice. Y'all babies is up there looking like this to them creatures. Rod done already told you. Nutrition facts, and I'm covering it in the later on in the broadcast. And in brief, it's like he said, they've not had consumed all the crap we have, so they get them at an early age. They're consuming them. And you done gave them, you done groomed your child. They worshiping your baby. You out here grooming, unknowingly grooming your child. Now, the people I got issues with are the ones who are knowingly grooming their children for their child sacrifice. Like I said on my broadcast, when it comes to COVID and the children's education, I'm done with you. Don't talk to me about, oh, my child had to get the COVID shot to go to school. Or, oh, my child, I'm concerned about them locking the schools up and keeping my child, and I can't go pick up my child. And if I show up to the school, they're going to want to arrest me because I don't have no rights to my child. I cannot get to my child. You know, your child got a birth certificate. The child belonged to the state anyway. As Ross says, long story short. All you got, you fix it. Take your child, unenroll your child. And I'm heading this homeschool guide. I'm working on getting to the final edits so we can distribute it out to the public. You need instruction or guidance on homeschooling, I can assist you. If it's not something I can assist you with, one of the matriarchs, or Ramutef Queb is the patriarch on the project, one of us will guide you to your answer. There's no excuses on when it comes to homeschooling. As Ross said, get your babies out that school system. And in the world where I'm from, not only is my man child not in the school system, but also I'm doing my best to keep him out of that damn plantation part of the system. I've done my best to keep him off the plantation. Now, of course, there's some hiccups and things, this my first time rolling through this, but the hiccups ain't got him out in that system. You Google 17-year-old black boy, my child don't look like none of them images that'll come up. We can look at it right now. I promise the 17-year-old man child I'm talking about don't look like none of them Google images that'll pop up. I need y'all to quit grooming your children to be the mock image of the Jesus sacrifice. Jesus was on that cross. Man child paid for them people's sins. Them people aging is their sin process. Them eating your babies and or leeching off your baby's energy, your children's energy at whatever age, is the sacrifice. Your child is on the cross and giving it up for these people's sins. They get to look younger. They get to live longer. It's some of us that ain't even eating, but they get to eat because you done groomed your baby for their plate. Quit playing with me. Quit playing with your babies. Forgive me. Quit playing with your children.
Why do you think they always want to touch people's hairs and stuff like that?
Don't touch
like,
my boy. I
didn't got
almost a few fights. Don't touch my babies.
Sure.
That was me. And I'm still like that today. What you don't touch? Matter of fact, don't touch me. The hell?
These are reptilian. I'm trying to tell y'all, this is a freaky universe.
Tell it to us.
This universe is not all love and light. Stop falling for this whitewash, watered down spirituality bullshit. Okay, universe is not all love and light. It's ma'at. It's balanced. You know what I'm saying? So you have a lot of, again, this is a farm. Okay, and then a lot of these beings had the technology to disguise themselves. You know what I'm saying? So they walking around the planet looking like a regular human. It's a Draco reptilian that's hungry.
So at the end of the day, y'all gonna feed y'all babies to these creatures in any form or manner. Do it. Don't talk to me about it, because I'm gonna give you this right here. And some, because you coming to me as an individual, freely giving up your child, I'm gonna give your ass the business. Don't talk to me. And then when I get done giving you the business, I'm gonna block you if you ain't hung up or already blocked me first. Anything from the panel?
Woo!
All right. Let's roll. Let's roll. Let me read this because some people might not be able to see this screen. I'm gonna read this. Babies, nutrition facts. Oh, 0 calorie. Hold on. Serving size 8 ounces. Damn. 0 calories, 0 grams of fat, 0 milligrams of sodium, 0 milligrams of potassium, 0 grams of carbohydrate, and 0 grams of protein. Cute, cuddly, delicious. In today's fast-paced society, it's hard to eat healthy. But with USDI, hold on, I can't even say that right. I know that's the letter A. I said an I. But with USDA certified baby meat, TM trademark, baby meat is trademark. This is a thing. But with USDA certified baby meat, it just got a whole lot easier. Oh, so it used to be hard for y'all to get the baby meat? Okay, so I wonder what methods made it easier. Oh, maybe the school system, maybe the plantation y'all send y'all children to. Oh, we ain't gonna talk about these hospital beds, these doctor's visits where y'all got your kids at. Back to the flyer. Babies are low in calories, high in nutrients, and full of taste. Best of all, baby meat with the trademark is all natural without any harmful drugs or steroids found in other livestock meat. Livestock meat, wow, you just talked about livestock with like chickens, and that's what he just said. Mm-hmm. The babies are the livestock. Oh my goodness, moving on this forward. What did it say at the end? Livestock meat. They come straight from mom's belly to yours. Try one today. Good enough for dingoes, good enough for you. What the hell? Straight from mom's belly to yours. What's that, like a low-key advertisement on the so-called unborn babies that never make it home from the hospital with their mamas? Or are we talking about the aborted babies? Because I've done a broadcast on abortions too.
It's on unborn babies.
But actually, real talk, some of the babies don't. They take the babies in the hospital, both. Thank you. They take them. They tell the baby the mother died. Hold on, what I'm saying, they tell the mother the baby died. And they bringing them death certificate forms to fill out. And they in there planning low-key little mini funerals. And the baby is in a helicopter on his way to a fucking island some damn where. For the plate from the mama's belly to your belly. That's some helicopter action right there, if not a private fucking jet and plane. Get it while it's hot.
Yep.
Damn livestock. What the hell? Y'all know what? Yeah, shake my motherfucking head too, Catholic. Shake the motherfucking head. Did I tell y'all this to No Children's on today? Y'all bet I did. I'm going to tell y'all one more time while I look for this and wait for any possible feedback from the panel. No feedback from the panel? All right, we're going to keep talking about it. Okay, so in here again, on when I did the image All these, when I did the search of eat babies and they added satire, I said, sure, why not? Let's look at it. They just literally is just all these image. This is like a joke. This is funny to them. Funny. This ain't cute. This it is cute. I know the etimai and a funny. Fun.
Eat the baby.
And
Yeah.
this lady, her story in here too in the presentation. She coming up later. I got her too.
And you notice all those babies are tamahus.
Yeah, all the ones they gonna show you on here because they want you to they don't want us to know where they getting the real meat from. That's really keeping them going. They
Mm.
want you to think it's a their problem. No, it's their stomach that's empty. That's the problem.
Because back in how you say when it come from when it was in the caves or whatnot. I mean, that's exactly what they did. They pillaged, raped each other, ate each other, all kinds of stuff. Finding you can find the bones of their ancestors and things of that nature, and as in other parts of caves or in certain parts of temples and things of that nature, and how they re updated it in a sense when it came to the whole chattel slavery thing, and then just basically like how they were kidnapping the slaves or the people, and like in the South, mainly in the South, they were taking the babies and making sure they feed it to the alligators, and then on top of that, they'll hunt the alligator because
Yeah, them
that's
was
that good
our
meat too.
babies. They was feeding to them alligators. Gratitude, matriarch. They been on that dark meat for wisdom intake. It ain't just they babies. They want us. The reason I say they not showing our babies up here in these images is because they want you to keep bringing the dark meat. They want you to keep grooming your child. They're gonna outright. I don't know. We got the movie review panel up here in brief. Is there a movie out on grooming melanated babies for their intake? Because I know we know about the alligators, them
What's
feeding
that?
them to
What's that one
their
movie
booty.
with the witches? Is it called Witches? Isn't I think it's called Witches, where they was turning the kids into mice and eating them or killing them or eating them that way too.
It was like
What?
it was an older movie.
Yeah, it was an older movie and they remade it too.
Yeah, I seen that a long time ago. That movie was kind of creepy to me when I seen that.
Yeah, very.
Witches of Eastwick?
No, that was the one with Jack Nicholson. But no,
Yeah,
I
it
think it
was.
was just called it's no, it might be the Witches of Eastwick, but I think it was called the Witches or something of that nature. And then you got Hocus Pocus. That's another term, but they didn't use melanated. But when it comes to um, wow, what is that movie called? Uh, I want to say what's his name? Um, the actor Vin Diesel. There was a movie that was doing like Last Days or something like that. And then the one lady I want to say she had a melanated baby if I'm not mistaken, and that was like the whole play on to the Christ sacrifice thing.
Okay. Yeah, it's called The Witches.
Yeah, the newer one had a melanated child as the star. So that's why I went. That's why I would say like prepping them to it in a sense. But in hindsight, when it comes to like the children and things of that nature, they definitely preyed on the children. But they used the terms witches, and we already know what happened to them, and we already know who they are for real, for real. As the protagonist in a sense of the whole shebang, in a sense. And then what is that movie called? Oh my goodness, it'll come to me. It'll come to me later.
Gratitude. Gratitude. The movies from 1990. We got a Google search going on over here. Gratitude for the support to the platform. All right, okay. And this was one of the results from my search of eating babies satire. They auto-populated the word suggestively populated the word satire. I checked it out. All right, so this article is called "Let's Just Eat the Babies" by Jonathan Swift.
Oh wow.
And right here it says a modest proposal. He's being modest for preventing the 1729. It is a melancholy object to those who walk through this great town or travel in the country when they see the streets, the roads, and cabin doors crowded with beggars of the female sex, followed by 3, 4, or 6 children in all rags, in importuning these passengers for an alms. These mothers, instead of being able to work for their honest livelihood, are forced to employ all their time in strolling to beg sustenance for their helpless infants, who, as they grow up, either turn thieves for want of work or leave their dear native country to fight for the pretender in Spain or sell themselves to the Barbados. I think it is agreed by all parties that this prodigious number of children in the arms or on the backs or at the heels of their mothers and frequently of their fathers is in the present deplorable state of the kingdom a very great additional grievance, and therefore whoever could find out a fair, cheap, and easy method of making these children sound and useful members of the Commonwealth would deserve so well of the public as to have his statue set up for a preserver of the nation. But my intention is very far from being confined to provide only for the children of professed beggars. It is of a much greater extent and shall take in the whole number of infants at a certain age, who are born of parents in effect as little able to support them as those who demand our charity in the streets. And let me go down here somewhere. But either way, y'all can just Google that. It'll come up for you and look at that further. They're talking about, okay, I again subtract 50,000. So let's look at this. The number of souls in this kingdom being usually reckoned 1.5 million. Of these, I calculate that there may be about 200,000 couple whose wives are breeders of livestock, from which number I subtract 30,000 couple who are able to maintain their children, although I apprehend there cannot be so many under the present distresses of the kingdom. But this being granted, there will remain 170,000 breeders. I agree, again subtract 50,000 for those women who miscarry or whose children die by accident or disease within the year. The question, therefore, is how this number shall be reared and provided for. What's them Georgia Guidestones, the depopulation process?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like if this is a part of that agenda. They calculate, like when you go to war, they already calculate the number of survivors and who will be killed in the war. Those that will be coming home. Atum Ra Ma'at Hotel. All right, Ra had to go, and he appreciates the invite. I appreciate him being here. And yeah. Let me get back to this right here. What am I reading? All right. Ramotef, was you gonna share something?
No. I was listening to that because as soon as the only thing that stand out in that article to me was Commonwealth, and then when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to, in the order of child trafficking and things of that nature,
Mm-hmm.
for me being in Pennsylvania, it's just certain key words give off a little bit of meaning, and it makes sense why over here, especially over here, since we have the tri-state area and things of that nature. Um, it just stands out. Just certain codes for me stands out. Like you have he was talking about some. It said something in the article about the Commonwealth. Anytime I hear that, I look at straight towards Commonwealth states and understand like, oh yeah, y'all definitely a part of that shit. Oh my goodness.
Gratitude, gratitude. All right, moving forward with this article in brief, because I'm not covering the whole thing. And where's it at? Okay. I shall now therefore humbly propose my own thoughts, which I hope will not be liable to the least objection. I have been assured by a very knowing American of my acquaintance in London that a young healthy child well nursed is at a year old a most delicious, nourishing, and wholesome food, whether stewed, roasted, baked, or boiled. And I make no doubt that it will equally serve in a fricassee or a ragost. I don't know them words. Um, I do therefore humbly offer it to public consideration that of the 120,000 children already computed, 20,000 may be reserved for breed, whereof only 1/4 part to be males, which is more than we allow to sheep, black cattle, or swine. And my reason is that these children are seldom the fruits of marriage, a circumstance not much regarded by our savages. Therefore, one male will be sufficient to serve 4 females. That the remaining 100,000 may, at a year old, be offered and sale to the persons of quality and fortune through the kingdom, always advising the mother to let them suck plentifully in the last month, so as to render them plump and fat for a good table. A child will make 2 dishes at an entertainment for friends. And when the family dines alone, the fore or hind quarter will make a reasonable dish, and seasoned with a little pepper or salt will be very good boiled on the 4th day, especially in winter. I have reckoned upon a medium that a child just born will weigh 12 pounds, and in a solar year, if tolerably nursed, increaseth to 28 pounds. I grant this food will be somewhat dear and therefore very proper for landlords who, as they have already devoured most of the parents, seem to have the best title for the children. Infants' flesh will be in season throughout the year, but more plentiful in March, and a little before and after. For we are told by a grave author, an eminent French physician, a doctor, that fish being a prolific diet, there are more children born in Roman Catholic countries about 9 months after Lent. The markets will be more glutted than usual because the number of popish infants is at least 3 to 1 in this kingdom, and therefore it will have one other collateral advantage by lessening the number of papists among us. I have already computed the charge of nursing a beggar's child, in which list I reckon all cottagers, laborers, and 4/5 of the farmers to be about 2 shillings per annum, rags included. And I believe no gentleman would repine to give 10 shillings for the carcass of a good fat child, which, as I have said, will make 4 dishes of excellent nutritive meat, when he hath only some particular friend or his own family to dine with him. Thus the squire will learn to be a good landlord and grow popular among his tenants. The mother will have 8 shillings neat profit and be fit for work till she produces another child. That's all I'm going to read it at. It's disgusting me, but enough for y'all. Okay, right now I'm going to move to another article that I'm sharing here. Okay. Few moments, please. All right. So this lady, she was on the. I had shared her in the from the images results earlier, and I'm going to magnify this a little bit more. We need to eat the babies. This climate activist said. It's called. This is netzerowatch.com. The article's called "We Need to Eat the Babies." AOC trolled by Swifty and satire. We've got to start eating babies. We don't have enough time. There's too much CO2, carbon dioxide. This is the politics. I did not look at the video.
May you raise your hands, please? Okay. Climate crisis. We only have a few months left. I love that you support the Green Deal, but it's not getting rid of fossil fuel. It's not going to solve the problem fast enough. A Swedish professor saying, we can eat dead people, but that's not fast enough. So I think your next campaign slogan has to be this: we got to start eating babies. We don't have enough time. There's too much CO2. All of you're pollutant. Too much CO2. We have to start now, please. You are so great. I'm so happy that you're really supporting the Green Deal, but it's not enough. Even if we would bomb Russia, we still have too many people, too much pollution. So we have to get rid of the babies. That's a big problem. Just stopping having babies is not enough. We need to eat the babies, and this is very serious. Please give a response.
Thank you. We'll go ahead.
Okay.
No, we'll go ahead. It's so no. Yeah, no. Thank you. So I think So one of the things that's very important to us is that we need to treat the climate crisis with the urgency that it does present. Luckily, we have more than a few months. We do need to hit net zero in several years. But I think we all need to understand that there are a lot of solutions that we have and that we can pursue, and that if we act in a positive way, there's space for hope. We are never beyond hope. Okay. Sorry. Okay.
Okay, this lady is promoting hope. Now, somewhere in there, she could have shut down this lady and her rant on eating the babies. So to me, not shutting it down is promoting and supporting the rant of eating the babies. Madness. I'm like, serious? How? Anyway, this is this day world, in some words, as Ra would put it. Just the madness that's really going on. And, for, again, the author of this book, The Devils Pulpit, he is a Tamahu, some of us would call him, and he was, in brief, on his story, he was of the church. He studied it. He went to school for it. And he started reading it for himself, not just what they were teaching him. He actually read into and was able to see. So in the book, The Devil's Pulpit, it is a series, a collection of some of his sermons that he actually preached. So right now we are in this broadcast tonight, part 4, discussing baby worshiping and child sacrifice. So my point right now is, before his time, this was happening, and it is still in our time happening. In this, as long as they are here, and according to what Ra's statement is, I'm piggybacking on my own right now, this is always going to be. It's always going to be. But it don't have to be so much if some of us would stop grooming our babies for their worship and later being a sacrifice. I would just like it to not be. Now, here I have an article, and yeah, it's called Eat Babies, tvtropes.org. And this is really just another, what I read earlier, this is just another portion, another version of that story. As again, you might remember, he said, I have been assured by a very knowing American of my acquaintance in London that a young, healthy child, well nursed, is at a year old a most delicious, nourishing, and wholesome food, whether stewed, roasted, baked, or boiled, etc., etc. And here in this picture is this, he's eating the baby head first. And right here is the funny pun, fun and pun is, I want my baby, what is it? Y'all know the commercial, I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back ribs. That's what it say right here in the caption under the picture. I mean, this is, at times this whole funny stuff, because I've covered the word fun in the Etsy Mind broadcast over a year ago. And the word fun is a distraction. To have all this, they call it satire. It's supposed to be funny. Fun is a distraction. So when they funny stuff up like this and put that what was it? Chili's baby back ribs. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. They putting fun on this. And in another part, in another section, I'm going to share from another article, they are addressing conspiracy theories. Oh, all this adrenochrome, which El Moore addressed earlier, it's a conspiracy theory, and conspiracy theorists need to stop. No. They can stop wanting to cover it up with fun. And then with the fun, they make you think that it's not, they want to make people think it's not real. It's just some crazy conspiracy theorists. So then they can just freely keep eating your children without making it some type mandate or law that you give your children up, because every people on a grand scale have stopped grooming their children for slaughter. Just my thought. I'm going to leave this one right here alone. I don't even feel like that right now. This Jonathan Swift, that's who I discussed earlier. And he has a whole Wikipedia article with this involved. And I'm going to share it in brief. Again, it's called A Modest Proposal. Sharing this in brief. The barbecue, us, those pick a nigga and cheer. Then them was back in them days. Right now, in this article I'm sharing, I done touched on it 3 times now. You roast them, you boil them, you bake them. You can fry them too. These are the days of frying chicken. Ra mentioned the chicken, the livestock, how some of us eat chicken. Fried chicken, the kernel. They fry them babies' body parts too. However they want to do it. Roasted, barbecue them too. They done barbecue some of us. Picked the nigga, barbecued them, and cheered, made whole postcards. Then some parts they had the whole advertising on feeding the babies to the alligators. Yep, as Ashanette said, they still got pictures. They still sharing this stuff. It's on the internet. It's not a secret. I'm telling you, this stuff, they got it out there, and it's not intended to be a secret. It's like a low-key reminder, low key or not key, whatever key, that this is what they doing, this is what they will do. And unless you do something different, it is what it is. It is what it is. They want to be picking niggas and barbecuing them and everything else to them. Well, some of us gonna do what? They'll do it right in the face, and you gonna do what? We gonna do what? Because we can't even protect our own children, our own babies. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we need solutions, and the solutions is homeschool, is home care for your children. Quit taking them to the doctors. Quit trusting the system to know your children better than you. As I mentioned earlier, your children do come with instruction guides. The guide is you. Quit looking to outside of yourself for the instruction on your children. Not you specifically, Catherine, but we need to quit looking outside of ourselves, look into our communities. We're supposed to be nation building and some other type stuff. It takes a village. That saying is a old time saying. It takes a village. It didn't say it take a doctor. It didn't say it take a pandemic plan. It didn't say it take a school system to raise a child. It takes a village to raise a child. The matriarch said that to me the other day, reminded me of that. We are the solution. We are our own hospitals. I've had guests on the platform who use natural remedies, natural preventative measures. Banks for what? What are we going to keep in the bank? Some more fiat? We are our own schools. We are. We, not you. This ain't a single thing. Don't feel like this a burden is on your shoulders. You have children, don't feel like, oh, I cannot with the children. I cannot with my child. Brother Z's in here. He has his autonomous zone he speaks of. Shariri L is just speaking on bartering system right now. A child is not a burden. Your child is not a burden. If you in any measure think your child is a burden, then you need to be looking at a we, not an I. It takes a village to raise a child. And a village is made up of more than one person. The math alone says if you got a child, you and your child is more than one. There is a we. We are our own hospitals. We are our own system of currency, and we are our own schools. We are our own, etc. Gratitude. Now, in this Wikipedia article, it is just a flyer that I'm sharing here of a modest proposal for preventing the children of poor people from being a burden to their children, etc. The flyer over here to the right is again printed in Dublin, reprinted in London. This is like a PSA for the time, public service announcement. So the information on this is in Wikipedia as well. I just wanted to share that in brief. Now, also, speaking of school systems and who we are, this next article shares with us now, some of us, we don't always know when our children are in the school system. We don't always know what they're saying to our children. We don't know what other children are saying to your child. So here is an article on the possibility of what your child is learning and or being exposed to in the public school system. In the school system, period. Anything outside of yourself, this is probably what they're dealing with. Satanic or satire, because again, satire was in the Google search results. U.S. school preaches cannibalism, yet concerned parents are the ones branded as domestic terrorists. Okay, so the school preaches cannibalism, but you as a concerned parent, you're a domestic terrorist. Okay, that adds up. That's some good math right there. All right, so goodness. This article is starting at the beginning. As further evidence that the U.S. school system has lost the plot, students in Georgia were instructed to consider eating babies as a way of solving world hunger. How much more depraved does it have to get before people wake up? As further evidence, which means there was prior evidence, the U.S. school system lost the plot. Students in Georgia were instructed, told to consider eating babies as a way of solving world hunger. How much more depraved does it have to get before we wake up? The article's talking to us. How much more before we wake up? How much more? In the ongoing series entitled U.S. Schools Go Insane. This is an ongoing series. U.S. schools go insane. That's like back in the day, they had them little infomercial Girls Gone Wild. U.S. schools gone wild. One institution apparently thought that by slapping a satire sticker on the most profane idea imaginable, the contraband would go unnoticed. Yeah, because just mark it funny. Everybody will laugh and say, oh, I'm just playing. That's why I don't play. Ain't shit funny. People who walk, all they most come out their mouth is, oh, I'm just playing. No, you're not playing. You just got addressed. I'm expecting you to be accountable. You don't want to be accountable. So you just slap a I'm just playing satire sticker on it. Not with Joy Allen, you don't. I don't play that. I don't play that. I'm that funny shit. I don't play that. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. It was funny. So he's happy to report it didn't work. The contraband, the satire sticker didn't work. As part of the inventive English language, which probably spoiled more than one trip to the cafeteria, high school students at Richmond Hill were tasked with finding ways of raising and eating of babies to solve the world hunger problem. High school students were tasked with finding ways. This was a task. Oh my goodness. Okay. And the information from the lesson plan that she divulged is nothing short of, as Thomas herself described it, satanic. Rituals, worshiping, satanic is in brief what they saying. It's something what's the word? It's something attached to this that linked is the word I'm looking for. It's something linked to this that just does not make sense. It is not funny. You can put it on a comedy channel all you want to. It's not funny. It's funny. It's distracting. It is funny. This is funny. It's a distraction. This is funny. Since the child has passed, we don't need to take up any more land for cemeteries. Since the child has passed, we don't need to take up any more land for cemeteries. So we slap the babies on the grill and cook their flesh and make delicious hamburgers. For mass production, we would encourage the U.S. government to create a business negotiation with China about trying to reduce their population by donating children to our government, the instruction stated. So this is part of the child's lesson plan. So as adults with this type lesson, they will grow up to be people who are mindful of reducing funerals, reducing the need for cemeteries. So I'm pretty sure those people are not going to be happy because they can no longer sell caskets, plots, and those other services they have. Because instead, they are slapping the babies on the grill and cooking their flesh and making hamburgers. And they are in business negotiation with China in an effort to reduce the population and donating the children to our government. We also take children from all organizations, including foster care. And the lesson does not end there. It goes on to discuss the creation of a Dahmer mini camp. People's already in the comments today talking about Jeffrey Dahmer. So here it goes. I was getting to it. I appreciate y'all giving the audience a head up on where we was going this evening, where the motto is, you are what you eat. For the uninitiated, Dahmer is an allusion to Jeffrey Dahmer, the late American serial killer, who not only preyed on Black men, but had an appetite for them as well. Once your belly laughing has subsided, take a guess as to the demographic that would be targeted for the baby burgers. Take a guess and give yourself an A if you said low income, poverty areas and countries. Give yourself an A for today. Class dismissed. The very communities, incidentally, that Planned Parenthood has been accused of catering to in the past. In a single day, the Biden administration said parents shouldn't be the primary stakeholder in their children's education. And the National School Board Association asked the feds to crack down on anti-critical race theory protests as domestic terrorism. They want your kids. This guy in September, Christopher F. Rufo, done said it. There's 244 replies if you want to see it on Twitter. Check it out. At this point, some readers may be tempted to shrug off this crazed literary device as the brainchild of a teacher with clear psychological problems. Unfortunately, that would be jumping to a hasty conclusion. After all, we are talking about the radical progressive mindset here. By now, many people are familiar with some of the graphic books that have found their way, a bit like worms invading on otherwise perfect apple, onto the shelves of public school libraries. We talked about Jesus as a worm as well. I'm not going to go into that. Invading, making their way. Either way, they came armed for the meeting in the form of 2 books available at her child's school library, Lawn Boy and Queer Gender, containing scenes of pedophilia, sex between men and boys, where in one instance a 4th grade boy is performing oral sex on an adult male. This is stuff that's going on in these schools, but y'all want to keep talking about you can't take your child out of school because of your work schedule. Okay, and to think culture warriors are canceling Dr. Seuss, Gone with the Wind, and Huckleberry Finn, so they can instead talk about pedophilia, sex between men and boys, queer gender, lawn boy, etc., etc. The government responded. It sided with the school board, suggesting that these contentious parents could actually be charged as domestic terrorists in the future. In the future, you could be charged as a domestic terrorist. That's what they say. The government responded. You could be charged as a domestic terrorist. I wonder what the time would be for that. How much time you get for being a domestic terrorist because you're concerned about your child learn about eating babies or pedophilia. So in the event this happens in the future, people are being charged with domestic terrorist cases. Karmic Dynasty don't want to hear it. Don't contact Joy Allen. I'm not commenting, liking, or sharing on your damn post because you want to set up a GoFundMe for some bail money because you done let the system, the beast, have your child, and now you caught up and need to get out because you trying to beat a domestic terrorist case. Joy Allen don't want to hear it. I ain't hearing it. I'm not hearing it. You better know it. They at the school board meeting saying they ain't having it. And that ain't gonna work. When these parents get charged with domestic terrorist case, what part of their case gonna be? That they stood up in a what they call meetings again? I didn't even go. I can't do it. In these meetings, they don't care that you. Apologies. I'm caught up. Apologies. I don't push myself out the start. And it ain't no accident. You don't accidentally leave a studio unless your battery go out. But my stuff is plugged up, charged. No, I just. Wow. Okay. This is what we about to do. We about to take a live break. Joy Allen need a break. All right. Stand by something. I don't know. Right now, yeah, PTA meeting. Parent teacher meeting. Yo, you can't beat a case. Only way you gonna beat this domestic terrorist rap sheet is to take your child out of the school system. Okay. I need y'all to look at this. Standby. Joy Allen need a short intermission. All right, y'all. We taking an intermission. I need y'all to look at what you don't do. Don't do this. Don't think this gonna get you off how you gonna beat the case. Oh, I got videos of me at the PTA meeting. I was there. I bought the best Sharpies, the biggest poster board. I did all that. What you mean I got 20 years to life? What about my child? Oh, don't worry about your child. We gonna eat them, ma'am. I need y'all to take intermission. Joy Allen, intermission. Intermission. All right, intermission is over. Over. All right, now that's what we not gonna do. Okay, we got the example. I left it there long enough for y'all. Do not think you're gonna be at the damn in court, okay? And your evidence is this. This is not evidence that you are not a domestic terrorist. So this is what you don't do. Now, here's my suggestion on what you do. You breathe, which I just had to do. Take a deep breath. Drink water. And get you some apples. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. That's what that saying is. So we don't need hospitals for our children. People up here talking about physically getting sick. I just had to, I went on autopilot and took myself out the studio. I was feeling some kind of way too. I needed a break. Breathe. We breathing. We're drinking water. Drink some. Do something. Get you some apples. Give your child an apple. It's also good for tooth removal. Loose tooth removal. Apple. Remedy. Cure. Done. All right. Wow. Whew. Okay. Joy Allen just took a whole intermission. I mean, real time, real life. All right. This is an unscripted platform. Once again, this is parental advisory notice has been up the entire broadcast. I do think at least most of it. And also today, this is the No Children Zone. I probably got 3 more slides of that PowerPoint. We're getting back to the book, The Devil's Pulpit, as a reference to tonight's broadcast. And I still have yet to finish this article. I got 2 articles on adrenochrome, which the universal humanitarian El Moore himself brought up this evening. And then I have one more when I mentioned Donald Trump sharing one of his posts and his notices to the public. And then I'm out of here. In the meantime, this is what I'm doing. I was going to say something else, but it'll come to me. It'll come, if I'm supposed to say it, it'll come right around to me. All right, breathing and moving forward. All right, so this is a school board group in Pennsylvania. They quit National Association for suggesting angry parents as domestic terrorists. Now, as the article also says, okay, now back to cannibalism and Jeffrey Dahmer. 2 subjects many parents never thought their children would be hearing about in school, much in the same way that the left-wing teachers of transgenderism and critical race theory are getting their very own anthology. So it appears that the doctrines of cannibalism are getting theirs. And that's what I want to say earlier. I'm so worked up, I can't even get these words out right of my thoughts, let alone be reading this stuff sometimes. So I'm going to continue to stumble over words possibly, and I'm rolling to this evening. People want to see Joy Allen, I'm here. This is how it's going this evening. As Thomas explained, students are able to access through their school media centers the 2012 graphic novel, My Friend Dahmer. Through the students, the school media centers, they have access to this novel, My Friend Dahmer, which documents the author John Backdurf's teenage relationship with the future serial killer. One Texas school district agreed to allow students access to the book, but on the condition of counseling support. You read this book, you need counseling afterwards. As this author suggests, perhaps burn after reading would be a better suggestion. Karmic Dynasty suggests, how about burn and before reading? Just don't even read it. What you need to know about Jeffrey Dahmer for? If a child needs to know about Jeffrey Dahmer and when they need to know about Jeffrey Dahmer, their caregivers will talk to them about a Jeffrey Dahmer. Which book? My Friend Dahmer book, or the book I'm referencing in this 4-part series called The Devil's Pulpit? In this article, they are addressing this book called My Friend Dahmer, which the students have access to through the school media center. And the condition of reading this book is not a library pass. It's not a permission slip from your parent. It's a counseling support. They need a counselor when they get done reading this book. And the school will give them access to the damn book. Moving down here some, drag queen, I'm not reading that. American parents questioning mass transgender beliefs and critical race theory in schools are not domestic terrorists. They say they're not domestic terrorists. And that's a whole nother article. So that article is available on the internet as well if you want to read no more about that. Moving down some. Okay. It's time that the real victims of these classroom attacks, the children, receive some guarantees that taxpayer-funded schools remain citadels of real and healthy learning, free from the corruption of political ideology. And that's all I'm going to share of that right there. What I'm going to do right now is that go back to the PowerPoint and work on this energy shift right now, because I need a break. All right. So here in this back to the PowerPoint, I was discussing eating babies. The book is discussing eating babies. Eating the babies. The lady up top said, I don't eat babies. Don't put that on me. They festivals involve eating the babies because they've worshiped these babies. They've groomed the babies. They've raised the babies. They've fattened the babies like damn Hansel and Gretel story. Fattening the babies. And then the baby worship. The parents groomed them. And the whole, what they didn't do, the witch and Hansel and Gretel was attempting to do when they came to her house. But the only way she got him is because the dad, according to the story, and making his new wife happy, he set his children out. He dismissed his children for a woman. And they had to fight for their life. They were able to get out. I seen this new updated Hansel and Gretel story where they are witch hunters. Yes, they history. Nursery rhymes. I've done a broadcast on nursery rhymes. I plan to do a part 2 next year. I got a lot of things going on next year. Of course, got a lot of things going on all the time. Anyway, yeah, nursery rhymes is their story, his story, not our story. I need us to be mindful of what we teaching our children, seriously. And to this PowerPoint. Okay. So I left at the last sentence because it carries over to the next slide. This festival of the Epiphany is so much more sacred than the festival of Christmas. Merely, the Epiphany of the Epiphany festival is more sacred than the festival of Christmas. Serious? The author told that story, his story. I don't hear anybody celebrating Epiphany, but it's more sacred than Christmas. I don't see any stores stocked with Epiphany apparel and products flying off the shelf. I'm gonna look, let's see what this Epiphany festival is about on here. All right. This festival of the Epiphany is so much more sacred than the festival of Christmas, merely that the 4 successive Sundays which follow it are entitled first, second, third, and fourth Sundays after Epiphany, while throughout Egypt and the East, whence all our Christianity was derived, throughout Egypt and the East, whence all our Christianity was derived, the day of the Epiphany was considered as the same as that of the birth of Christ and was uniformly observed on the 6th of January. So yes, Ramutef Queb was here and he addressed, peace, Kai Creatress, peace. He addressed Jesus' birthday not being in December. So yes, the author here is addressing it and is being observed uniformly on the 6th of January. So that's not December, but it is just an observation. But knowing what I read in this guy's book, he ain't made that statement just to be saying something. The Epiphany now. The Epiphany should not a sensible man insist on knowing what is the meaning of Epiphany. I suspect again that thereby hangs a tale, a story, his story. Could you have clearer evidence of the fact that Christianity is kept up solely by the artifice of keeping people in ignorance than the fact which your own experience attests in other persons and perhaps in yourselves, that not one in a million of those who keep the festival of Epiphany, who say the collect for Epiphany, who share at the 12th cakes in the pastry cook's windows on the Epiphany, and play at conundrums and draw lots for the king and queen on each returning festival of the Epiphany, ever dreams that this game at riddles and drawing for characters is a continuance of the never interrupted religion, is a continuance of the never interrupted religion of the ancient paganism in honor of the black art or magic of these celebrated magicians, and that Phanes compounded into the word epiphany, that is of or concerning Phanes, is a name perfectly synonymous with the name Christ, literally signifying all that the name Jesus and Christ ever signified, that is the Son. Phanes or Phanes, whence epiphany or manifestation was a distinguishing epithet of the god Apollo, that is the sun or the light of the sun, it being the property of the light of the sun to make manifest, upon which property we find the apostle Paul playing off his puns and riddles, that whatever doth make manifest is light. And John again, that God is light, and in him is no darkness at all. And that was the true light that lighteth every man that cometh into the world. And for this purpose, the Son of God was manifested, that he might dissolve the works of the devil. The sun becomes Phanes, the shiny bright one, that he may dissolve the frost of winter. He appears in Phanes, the ram of March, to counteract the evils that followed in the train of the diabolical genius of November. So before we go on and talk about Cupid, because I already addressed Cupid's relationship to Jesus, I am right now going, because we about at the end of the PowerPoint, I'm about to address this adrenochrome and look at these babies and their influence, the desire of the people for the babies, certain babies, fattened babies, delicious babies, no calorie babies, no carbohydrates babies. And then we're going to look at Cupid and his relationship to Jesus. So right now I have on the screen Humorous Mathematics, and the article is called What is Adrenochrome? Follow the White Rabbit. I appreciate El Moore giving us a heads up on the adrenochrome coming in on the presentation this evening. It's about time the world got informed about the elite's preferred drug of choice and its disturbing, torturous methods of production. Adrenochrome, a chemical known by modern science since at least the 1930s, is a chemical compound with the molecular formula C9H9NO3. For the purpose of this summary, we are primarily focusing on the natural version of adrenochrome and not the synthetic equivalent, as the elites use the most addictive and expensive stuff. To put this in layman's terms, adrenochrome is the adrenalized blood that is harvested when a human is abused and tortured to death. The use of extreme sexual torture, satanically ritualized sodomy, and violent rape of children. Apologies. I keep clicking. This link is bothering me. The use of extreme sexual torture, satanically ritualized sodomy, and violent rape of children in nightmarish demon god sex rituals. There goes the satanic and demon references again. Specifically designed to create maximum terror in a child's body, to overload their blood with adrenochrome prior to extraction. The blood must be harvested quickly by puncturing their skull with the hypodermic needle right in the center of their forehead, where the third eye, pineal gland, is located. Younger children are preferred for these satanic rituals because their pineal glands are only minimally calcified by the fluoride in our water and toxins in our food and environment. So as Ross spoke earlier on, they've not had all the crap in their body yet. We have. That discusses that as well. And it also supports the nutrition facts tattooed on the baby's forehead in the previous picture I shared, and how they're not full of fats and sugars and carbohydrates. So this next video, I'm not able to play it. It wants me to do some bunch of links and allowing and adding some things to my device. I'm not even going to do it. But this is supposedly a video of, hold on, I skipped a part. Okay. This is apparently a clip where we see a young Syrian girl taken by traffickers as she panics, raising her adrenaline right before they put her up on a table with a tray beneath her to harvest either her adrenochrome and or organs. In the video, you will also notice small children covered up on harvesting tables and on the ground, discarded like trash in bags. These global elites and celebrities take the adrenochrome for its psychoactive effects of including euphoria, greater health, increased vivacity, change in train of thought, lack of judgment. Just as there are benefits for any drug, there are withdrawals too. So this is just some more adrenochrome facts and things here. This is a historical symbolic depiction of adrenochrome consumption. This picture in my Google search of eating babies satire came up. So when I clicked the link to look at the article attached to this image, that's how I got to this article, through this image in Google search. So this is a letter from the CYM Caring Group on adrenochrome, and it reads, "Sir, please find enclosed our confidential new detainee and production reports as follows. Production of raw adrenochrome per detention center with average age of detainees. List of detainees used for production, duration of custody, and scheduled disposal date. A valuable source for quality research." And a note for the column that shows SUIC only states suicide attempts. A finished suicide would appear in the disposal. So moving down here, they have a Christmas special. Imagine that. We're speaking about Jesus and the whole Epiphany, which is a festival more, what was it say? More special. I can't remember the word the author used. We'll look at that. More important than Christmas. They got a whole Christmas special. Only thing they missing is Santa Claus on this damn letter, so the babies can sit on his damn lap. I was going to discuss that, but I ain't even about to talk about sitting your babies on Santa Claus' lap this evening. I'm not going to do it. I don't even feel like it. Y'all is playing. People be playing. I'm not doing it. Let's look at this Christmas special. Woo, special price for service members. So they got quality meat. They got quality Christmas special A plus, or A++. The old price was $19.20. The special price is $1,500. The information on this quality is superior quality for instant success. They have quality B+, or B++. Old price $14.50. Special price, because we run the sale, is $1,000. Information is good quality for regular use. And B- or below quality is $1,100. Special price, we running you an offer for $750. Is a starter quality. If you are new to Adrenochrome, we wish you a happy autumn and a very long and healthy life. This is from their CEO and founder. Down here is a note of promotion for this guy. He is a warden, legal counsel in similar ranks, or technician. Anyway, please note that the next recommendation should be made 5 years after this employee was actually promoted. So you want to promote an employee, send a recommendation, but you got to wait. Right here is the CYM Corporation's detention and production site in Texas. Ramutef Queb spoke on Texas this evening and the children missing there. They have an electric fence here by the main entrance, outer control post. House B has the offices for the staff, the promoted people, to send out the letters and the Christmas specials. And here in House A, we have the personnel and guards. House 3, there are 650 inmates. House 2 has 400 inmates, and House 1 has 400 inmates. Over here on this side of the property in House P, they have production. House C has the raw meat processing, and House D is the energy and crematorium. Right here, it says inmate playground. That's this space right here, and watchtower. They have a playground. As seen in the above documents and following GAD profile, the company conveniently rented an office at the Trump Tower to make it seem as if Trump is somehow affiliated with Adrenochrome. So here's some comments from the CYM Corporation. I'm going to read the first one. We are the #1 manufacturer of 100% pure natural adrenochrome, thus the symbol. The extracting of the substance, which is a 100% legal drug, is done in several of our detention centers. The items are put under stress. This means human adrenaline is generated and we can harvest it. Adrenaline is the main ingredients of adrenochrome. The salary is $120,000 for a guard with $15,000 bonus if in a special detention center. Additional $8,000 is paid for work in a bunker below earth. You'll find us here. No permanent address. This is some other images right here. This is adrenochrome delivery truck claiming to offer every flavor with 24/7, 365 home delivery service.
Aber dit was gevonden auf der Scheißding. Adrenochrome Home Delivery every flavor. Bro, was will das? Was ist das, Mann? Kedore.
All right. Moving forward. The adrenochrome we are discussing here today is not to be confused with the synthetic versions available on the online market for significantly less, as seen below. Significantly less. So here goes the price chart, the invoice type information for a pack size of 25 milligrams, etc., etc. And now here gets me to my next two website searches, which are the only two that I have left to share in like 2 or 3 PowerPoint slides, and we're done. Trump intentionally misspelled children as CHIDLREN as it relates to products being sold online that come from missing children that are enslaved for the purpose of being tortured and having their adrenochrome repeatedly harvested until they are murdered when they are no longer useful slaves. In Trump's post, he shared, "Got to do something about these missing children. The misspelling of the word children is here. Grabbed by perverts. Too many incidents. Fast trial, death penalty." So here also is noted in reference to Alibaba, and I'm going to look at that next. I looked, and this is how I got to the information I'm going to share on the next 2 slides, at least. So this suggests that if you mistype the word children, as Donald Trump did, in the Alibaba website, you will get this information. And the sale, you'll see the sale of adrenochrome on their website. Here also linked me to some of my information this evening I'm going to share. Cheddar Pringles cans. Pringles. Here they're talking about the cheddar ones. Cheddar flavored Pringles cans at one point in time also had an alphanumeric code on the bottom of the can that, when searched on Alibaba.com, redirects to adrenochrome listings as seen in the following video. The pedophiliac corporations intentionally use cheese and pizza-themed items in relation to Pizzagate like this to help their blood-drinking Luciferian clientele easily find sources of adrenochrome.
This is shocking.
Okay, so I just need to share that. I don't have any input on this. We can you can all look at that for yourself. I done lost the article. Again, this is the image that got me to the article, so it just linked me right back in here. Let me find my place. Okay. And so the video we just watched is here. Let me find what I'm looking for. Guess I need another break. All right, so another article earlier talked about, the Eat Babies Taught in School article talked about the relationship that the government is wanting to acquire, if they haven't already, with China in swapping baby meat. So here in this article, they reference a relationship with China as well. And a China-based company openly selling children, but they have the misspelled version that Trump shared, harvested adrenochrome here and seen on Alibaba. And again, the word children is misspelled. They just type it in, it came up. So this is a drug, the bottle for sale. This is a package of American Adrenochrome Kid. This says 20 ounce of finest baby heart and finest baby kidney. Best before September 28th, 2026. Bagged on September 22nd, 2008. So this is the shelf life of this kidney and heart package. Adrenalized American kid meat. This barrel right here is marked adrenochrome. Adrenochrome harvesting equipment. Mel Gibson, Hollywood is den of parasites who feast on blood of kids. Hollywood studios are drenched in the blood of innocent children, according to Mel Gibson, who claims the consumption of baby blood is so popular in Hollywood that it basically operates as a currency of its own. So with that note, I'm saying again, when people say we need our own banks holding what? Blood banks? Adrenochrome banks? We don't need our own banks. We got the current currency. We are the currency. Getting to this article, they said they only use closed meat, not human. Poor girl Gordon Ramsay. Clone. Okay. they saying everything, but it's all right. People can know it or not. So I'm moving. This is an onyx ring, adrenochrome, and the onyx ring, red onyx ring. So they're wearing these rings, and his ring is in the dirt. He looked like he dead. He gone. Right here. If somebody's dead with this ring on. Red onyx rings. They wearing them. Oprah got hers on. You get a ring. You get a ring. You get a ring. You get a red onyx ring. Yeah. So I'm about, and then they hear discussing Monsters Inc. Of course, adrenochrome information in that movie for children, Disney Pixar, Monsters Inc. In the faces and the children, just more symbols, signs and symbols here with the third eye, the pineal gland. Google adrenochrome. They got whole bodies right here. They cut off the head of they put the head of this guy and stuffed it in the top of this turkey. I mean, seriously, all this stuff just sitting here on Google. If I didn't already say it, yeah, cloned. Okay, that's what I thought she was saying. Cloned meat, not human meat. That's what Gordon Ramsay gonna tell you. And research on China and their aborted babies approximately 20 years ago. You did a paper, and one of the things you found was a doctor admitted to eating the aborted babies. She felt the baby shouldn't go to waste. They sell the baby's brains in their Walmart stores. Goodness. This is madness. And yeah, just more of this stuff. Aliens do it. Why can't we? The elite. Spirit cooking. Almost all of her art surrounds cannibalism, aka spirit cooking. So there's a satanic ritual guide And for example, on New Year's Day, the Druid Feast Day blood rituals. January 17th, they have sex rituals. January 20th, St. Agnes Eve, they have the kidnapping and preparation. Human sacrifice on January 26th. Blood rituals, animal sacrifices, demon homage. 16-year-old bride of Satan ritual. Kidnapping and preparation again in April. Child sacrifice. Female or child sacrifice in April. Yes, the symbolism is real. This is a book. You see in the right here, you see where they flip the page. This is in book form. So it's being distributed, I'm probably sure. I guarantee this is something that's distribution. Goodness, we're not even looking at all that. Satanic ritual calendar for satanic ritual abuse, SRA, is more information here. They list the age of the children, 15 to 33. Male if human. I mentioned earlier the whole age 33, 30 type stuff. Jesus' age when he died on the cross is still is a child. The sacrificial age, the age of becoming. Again, back in the day, you went to school till you was in your 30s before you could be even considered to have a place of stature, a title, or anything of recognition. Yeah. And this print kind of low. It ain't kind of, it's small, so y'all can't even see it. But it's got satanic rituals, oral, anal, vaginal, females age 7 to 17. Grand climax, oral, anal, vaginal, females 1 years old to 25 years old. They got some on here where the child can be any age. I'm not even about to talk about her or none of this other stuff. That's enough for me. Y'all need to know about that. There's ways you can find out more about it. Based on also what I shared earlier in adrenochrome and whole conspiracy theories being addressed, and definitely in the media is being addressed. Here, this article, was it Canaan? I don't know, is spreading a bizarre and dangerous conspiracy theory about a drug called adrenochrome. So basically, this article was talking about, now here go Dr. Phil, which has caught my eye. While that may sound patently ridiculous, the adrenochrome conspiracy theory has now made its way beyond the bloodshot eyes of YouTube investigators and into mainstream culture, such as when Dr. Phil featured a woman on his show who claimed that her missing daughter had been kidnapped and tortured for the chemical. If you're wondering why it's important to pay attention to this sort of thing, let's start with the fact that more than 24 congressional candidates have shared Canning material or even appeared on Canning shows. Like it or not, there are signs the group's influence is growing. I'm not going into this kind of far. We already discussed what adrenochrome is. Why does it matter that anyone believes this conspiracy theory is real? There's an old saying that you should never attribute to malice that which can be explained by stupidity. But in the case of Canaan, their conspiracy theories are a generous helping of both. Canaan is tapping into both conservatives' mistrust of liberals as well as the ubiquity of misinformation. What's different about Canaan is that the conspiracy theory is targeting the party that is not in power. What's weird is that these kinds of right-wing conspiracy theories most typically arise when a Democrat is in the White House, as in, for example, the militia movement of the 1990s, which faded in influence once George W. Bush was elected. says Mark Finster, professor of law at UF and author of Conspiracy Theories, Secrecy and Power in American Culture. Believing that liberal elites are drinking dead child blood instead of just going to Oregon for shrooms may seem outrageous, but for some it is just one piece in a big puzzle that they are solving with their friends to take down the people they hate. Conspiracy theories can be like drugs, says Brian Houston, director of disaster and community crisis at the University of Missouri. If they are doing something for you psychologically, you often need more and more of that to get your fix. So the conspiracy theories just get crazier and crazier. End results. I'm summing this up. But there's an even more common danger to people believing in conspiracy theories like adrenochrome harvesting and hunting the internet for Q drops. Q drops is talked about in this article as well. People who fall down the rabbit hole of Canaan are usually neglecting their real lives, jobs, social relationships in favor of spending hours and hours on the internet, working themselves into a kind of self-radicalizing frenzy about the state of the world that isn't congruent with reality, says that guy. Now, what I'm going to share right now is, because I did it, so I learned, I'm going to show you that this did happen. I did type in the misspelling of the word children as Trump typed in his article. And then this came up. We have the prepping for the Pope with the impending world meeting of families and papal visit just a week away. The Valley Forge Tourism and Convention Board is prepping for the event, etc., etc. Of course, they want to downplay it like, oh, you in the wrong spot. You meant children. And otherwise, yeah, right here, the Alibaba autocompletes shows the Alibaba information. Again, that's another article. I'm not looking at that either. What I'm going to do now is complete the PowerPoint presentation and then be out of here. A few moments, please. All right, because we're talking about Cupid. So we're going to finish talking about Cupid. But the god Eros, which signifies love, and was the Greek name for Cupid, received the name of Phanes because he was first manifested. He was first manifested, and hence that ridiculous conundrum which our Methodists are so fond of quoting, but of the meaning of which they are so exquisitely ignorant. God is love. Yes, he is, and as much as a horse, and no more. Know they of the meaning of God's being love. The Roman poets, deriving their theology from the Greeks with as little inquiry as Christians, have mistaken Phaeton, who is the same as Phanes, if I'm saying that all right, for the son of the sun, whereas he was unquestionably the Son himself, as the God of light, represented as the firstborn of heaven, as in that verse of the ancient Orpheus. Firstborn Phaeton, son of the far shining morning, an attribute distinctively retained to the Epiphany of Christianity in that incantation to the Epiphany, O God, who didst manifest thy only begotten Son to the Gentiles, as he is expressly called by the aged Simeon, the light to lighten the Gentiles. Let me go back here. Reading this bottom. God is love, the fragment of the Babylonian translated from the Phoenician into Greek by Philo Biblius preserves to us this passage from the theology of the ancient Phoenicians. When the Spirit became enamored of his own perfections, he begot Cupid. For Cupid was the beginning of the creation, of all things. God is love. The fragment of the Babylonian sanctifying, translated from the Phoenician into Greek by Philobiblius, preserves to us this passage from the theology of the ancient Phoenicians. When the Spirit became enamored of his own perfections, he begat Cupid. For Cupid was the beginning of the creation of all things. Thus, little Cupid and little Jesus, who was conceived by the Holy Ghost and who is expressly entitled the beginning of the creation of God, are demonstrated to be one and the self-same figment of imagination. And the Christian who denies the real existence of the holy child Cupid, while he believes in the existence of the holy child Jesus, only shows that he uses his reason in the one instance, but lays it aside in the other. But nothing hinders that God, who had an only begotten Son, in whom he was well pleased, might have 3 or 4 only begotten daughters, with whom he was much better pleased, and which supplies the best apology I have ever heard of, to save his moral character from the suspicions that attach to his seeming to set so little store by the unfortunate Jesus. Since we may hope that though he gave his Son to die for us, he would have not sacrificed one of his daughters. Phaeton had 3 sisters, Lampetia, Phaethusa, and Phoebe, in the pagan mythology. The 3 Marys: Mary, the wife of Cleopas, Mary, the wife of James, and Mary Magdalene, appear in precisely the same analogy as the sisters of Jesus in the gospel. Of the Magi, so deceitfully translated as wise men of the East, directed by a star to a stable in which the King of the Jews was to be born, all our historical knowledge is derived from the most ancient of all writings, those transmuted to us from the ancient Babylonians and Chaldeans. They appear to be the first of the human race who constituted such a body as that which is now called the clergy. They were formed into societies and resided in colleges, where their whole business consisted in the study of astronomy, which they disguised from the discovery of the vulgar under the thick veil of allegorical fictions and pretended histories, precisely such as the Gospels, which are come down to us, are found to be. Some of their order from time to time broke loose from the collegiate discipline and rambled at large, like so many mendicants and begging friars, and were the itinerant Methodists or missionaries of the clerical conclave. They were the professed followers or worshippers of the imaginary founder of their craft, a deified personage called Zoroaster, whose worship was styled Magia, or magic, and the professors of it, magi or magicians. By Zoroaster was denoted both the deity and also his priest, so that while there were many real personages who bore the name Zoroaster, the original type is a mere fiction of imagination. As I trust on Sunday last, I instructed you satisfactorily in the anatomy of words, or the art of dissecting them and bringing them back to their radicals or first types. You will see that Zoroaster is derived from Zor-Aster, that is, the 2 Ammonian primitives. So here it goes on to talk about this guy, Zor, Sir, the name of God in Hebrew, and Aster, the star in Greek. Thus, in Zoroaster, your own ear will run the gamut down to the types in our own language of the words Sir, applied in address to every person of the rank of a gentleman, and Easter, the East, Easter, and astronomy. So in the name Magia, and magic, originally given to the science of astronomy, disguised under the veil of evangelical romances or God's spells, as they were called, your ear will trace the roots of our name of magistrate, the Latin magister, the English master, one of the characteristic titles of Jesus Christ, who in the Persian language, as the ancient Persians were the most distinguished fire worshippers, was called Mithra, that is, the master. The absolute identity of the pagan god Mithra, that is Zoroaster, the original Zoroaster, or personified genius of the sun, and the Jesus Christ of the gospel is then so clear and so demonstrable that no man's nose was ever more clearly to be proved to be a part and parcel of and pertaining to his face than Christ and Mithra may be shown to be one of the self-same personification of the Son, and Christianity and magic, one and the self-same device for working on the imaginations of ignorant and silly people and rendering them the slaves, cowards, and fools that it was always most convenient for their masters that they should be. This is the conclusion of my presentation this evening. I have nothing more to say. I don't know how it would be more to say. Mithra, I know I covered in my first Detroit event in relation to the Kardashians. Satanic, I also discussed them and their baby being on the altar, baby worshiping, and the ceremonies and rituals of that child being sacrificed. So some of this is not new news to me. I was able to relate to it. And I definitely learned a lot, even in just broadcasting this today. I've learned so much from the audience. I've learned so much about myself. I needed a whole intermission, OMG. And I definitely did not plan on being on here this long. But again, so much for plans when it comes to the children. I am available. I do my part. And Nick Cannon is being referenced right now. I appreciate everyone in their awareness of the parental advisory explicit content that was probably perceived during this presentation. I appreciate everyone recognizing that today is the No Children Zone on Karmic Dynasty. I appreciate you as well for recognizing that. I appreciate my guest panelist today. I had Ra here with me, and right now I'm going to share his closing, which I didn't share because I wasn't aware he had left out. A few moments, please. And I was going to address Ramutef Queb next. He is here again in the studio. So, hey, an unscripted platform. Let's see where this goes. Ramutef Queb, welcome again to Karmic Dynasty. I'm glad you're here. You have anything you'd like to share?
Yeah, I missed out on the second half, but definitely the information that was given, definitely everyone check it out for yourselves. Don't believe what most people say. Do the research for yourself, even though the writing was on the wall for this one. specifically, but at the same time, it's like definitely be careful. Try to take this not necessarily with a grain of salt, but take it very serious in a lot of areas. Um, for myself, I'm definitely going to recap so I can see what I missed, and I definitely want to thank the audience, thank all those on the panel for this glorious unveiling of very disturbing, very disturbing information. But it's needed because a lot of people are very sensitive when it comes to this because they honestly don't take their children serious. Um, Peace to everyone. Atun Ra, my hotel.
I appreciate your feedback, Ramutef. Atum Ra, per hotel, to the Siba, Ramutef Queb. You're valuable to the platform. I appreciate your input. I appreciate your support. And let's see. Okay. Comment. It was a beautiful little black boy that went missing in China. And when they found him, all of his organs were missing. Wow. Um, I know Charbet spent time in China. So I'm thinking that this information she's given was while she was in China, and or if it was after she left, it was because somebody there who knows her had the information and shared it with her. I know Charbet, and she shared this information on the platform. She's been here as a guest a few times, and she's speaking from her Facebook channel, Facebook page. She actually is an artist. If you're not familiar, I need y'all to check out shariberrystudios.com. I'm going to share a banner. And she actually taught the children in China. She's a teacher there. And so she definitely knows what she's talking about. She definitely has a concern for the children. Okay, yeah, it's when you were there. Okay, yep, that's why I kind of 2 and 2 equals 4. I put it together. I thank you for the feedback. And but she definitely is an advocate for the children. She definitely is highly concerned about their well-being, and she, from what I know, does her part. And that's just from what I know. So I know she does much more in the awareness of the children and their self-development and growth. And definitely she promotes their creative nature. And I'm speaking for her. So I do apologize if I'm misspeaking for her, but it's not my intention to bring any harm, negative, or bad marks on her name or her works. I appreciate Charbet and her bringing this information to the platform. Is that, yep, that's her information here in the ticker. So yes, I need y'all to go check out her website, shariberrystudios.com, is here in the banner ticking below. Check her out on Facebook. And gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. And you are great as well. And I cannot express enough the matriarchs that are here and their greatness, the patriarchs that have showed up this evening to support the platform as well. And I couldn't do this without you all. And I'm on, based on this fraudulent Gregorian chronological timeline, I am entering into year 3 of the platform, and I appreciate everyone that I've met along the way. I definitely today am still promoting homeschooling. So if you're
Yes.
interested in homeschooling and you just don't know where to turn, you think all else has failed, contact me. If I cannot assist you or you don't want to speak to me, you can speak to Ramutef Queb, and we will refer you to those that are working on the project with us. And there are some people who work behind the scenes on the project, so they're not publicly recognized because that is their choosing. And I definitely honor their thoughts in their position on
Love,
that.
love.
And definitely do not use the excuse of your job schedule or anything else to have your children be a victim of the system. Do not, this is the no excuse zone. Your child's life, your child is the no excuse zone.
Yep.
Do not apply excuses to your children. It is a cop out, it is a weakness for yourself, and you are putting your child in harm's way every time you do it. Ramutel, what would you like to share anything?
Oh no, you said a mouthful. I'm just thankful that coming up on that anniversary date as well as also definitely check us all out. Especially just take that homeschooling very seriously, people. It's definitely going to benefit you in the long run because it's going to give you the time and power to truly help your child shape their destiny. Definitely, definitely. And, and then hopefully I can not be so busy the next time so I can literally put a lot of input from earlier because earlier was definitely um, in my lane because dealing with astrology or just astronomy in a sense. That's definitely something that I looked into because I always, anytime someone picks something that's dealing with the stars, I understand like since I know time is so when it comes to that actual placement and what they're talking about. That's why this Gregorian calendar that we use is very detrimental to not just us but everybody on this planet. Definitely rewatch, like, share, subscribe, tell a person about this. Definitely take this particular segment very serious when you share this, because not a lot of people are strong enough or will-minded to know or even talk or even make something, or not even make something, but basically do something about this process. There are people, in the fight, but most of the times it's like they don't fight it because they truly don't know what's going on. All you got to do is look for the signs and symbol, people. I appreciate you. Appreciate you, Joy. Appreciate the Natural Raw as well. And definitely everyone, enjoy the rest of your day.